The Saints really tried to give that one away. They really did. But sucks for them because the Bears like giving away games better. They like that more. Well, on the bright side, this is the first time the Bears have lost back-to-back games since week 3 and 4. Yeah, it doesn't sound great. Bears lose 24-17 in the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans against the New Orleans Saints. It's just tough, dude. It's really not hard to find the reason the Bears lost this game. They turned the ball over 5 times. Tyson Bagent threw 3 interceptions, and he fumbled the ball once, and then DJ Moore had a fumble. And I mean, just brutal. Absolutely brutal. That second half was super hard to watch. I want to say for the 3rd straight week, the Bears win the coin toss and elect to receive. So Tyson Bagent gets the ball to start the game. I know he did that against Las Vegas. I know that they did that today. I don't recall them doing that against Los Angeles. I don't remember if they did, but I do know they did get the ball first in that game. So, but still, just absolutely brutal. Bears, they go down. They score a touchdown on their first drive. Tyson Bagent throws a pass, was maybe a little too far for Kmet, but oh my goodness. One of the catches of the year. Probably the catch of the year for a Bears receiver so far. That catch in the end zone from Cole Kmet was fantastic, and the Bears had an early 7-0 lead. Saints go down the field. They don't get anywhere on their first possession. Next possession, Tyson Bagent throws an interception. Really the only terrible play he made in that first half. He looked really good in that first half. Really the only bad, terrible play. Saints would capitalize. They'd go down the field, and Carr would hit Chris Olave for a touchdown. They'd be tied at the end of the first quarter, 7-7. In the second quarter, Bears have a really interesting. They have a good drive going. They had scored 8 straight times. They had scored a touchdown 8 straight times they got into the red zone. So the team's struggles is not getting into the red zone, because once they had gotten into the red zone the last couple of weeks, they had actually scored touchdowns, not just field goals. They scored touchdowns. It looked like it was going to end after a broken play on 3rd and 2. Bagent kind of throws it away. But Saints accept a 10-yard holding penalty at 3rd and 12. Tyson Bagent, I think one of the best things he did in that first half was a play like this. He was able to scramble, and he was able to scramble for chunk yards. I know that was a weakness for the Saints. That was one of their big weaknesses coming into the game. But Tyson Bagent really took advantage of it. He had to escape from the pocket, and there was just tons of green grass open for him to run. And on this 3rd and 12, he escapes the pocket and then lunges for a first down. They mark him short, but Eberflus challenges it, and this is a great challenge. I would have challenged it as well. I'm pretty sure most Bears fans and that coaching staff would have challenged that play. They did. They win the challenge. It's a first down. The very next play, Bagent finds Cole Kmet for his 2nd touchdown of the game. And that's great. Bears take a 14-7 lead. Saints would score again, find the end zone before the half would end. And we go to halftime, 14-14. It was a pretty even game. It didn't really feel like either team had a massive upper hand so far in that game. But the adjustments out of the second half, one team was clearly better, and it was not the Bears. It was not the Bears, let me tell you that. Third quarter was kind of boring. Both teams scored a field goal. Not to mention the fact that the touchdown on the red zone streak ended not only by Cairo Sanchez having to come out to kick a field goal, but he doinked said field goal square off the post. Just didn't curve in. Was just headed straight for the post. Was dead on. Didn't have any curve in the ball at all. So, boom, right off the post. No good. So, 14-14 at the half. Groupie would then kick a 55-yarder to, give the Saints the lead. So, after that, Bears would go down. They'd kick a field goal after red zone drive stalls. And he'd actually get it through the uprights this time and tie the game at 17. Then we get to the fourth quarter, which is really where this game was lost by Chicago. Really bad. I don't think there was a single play in that quarter. They said it a couple times during the broadcast. I don't think there was a single play outside of Chicago territory. New Orleans territory was completely defended. The Bears couldn't get in there, and they were so bad on offense in the second half. And it wasn't like they were punting and everything. They were turning the ball over in their own zone. And so New Orleans got great field position, and it's just they tried to give the game away. The Saints really did. They could not capitalize off these takeaways. They really could not, and it was just so frustrating. We're inside like 10 minutes. Bajan, I think, throws an interception. Yeah, he throws a pick. And then the Saints decide to go for it on a 4th and 1, when they could just kick the field goal and get a 2-possession lead. They're stopped, like an inch and a half short, maybe. Like, they were just short. They get a gift. The Bears get a gift. Bajan throws another interception on the ensuing drive. At least I think that was the drive. No. I don't remember. It was also... Regardless, they don't do anything with the ball. Saints get the ball back. Groupie goes on to attempt, I think, a 47-yarder to tie the game. Looks dead center, and it absolutely curves off, and it hooks, hits the upright, square off, and somehow it's still a one-possession game. I want to say this is the possession Bajan threw his second interception of the quarter. I want to say this is the possession previous. They had punted. But regardless, can't do anything with the ball. They turn the ball over in their own territory. So they can't capitalize. And then they stop them. So they stop the Saints. They use all their timeouts after the interception. And they can't do anything with that either. The final drive of the game, Bajan's already got 3 turnovers to his name. He's got 3 picks, and he just coughs up the football. He fumbles it after getting hit from behind, and it is over at that point. 4 turnovers to Tyson Bajan's name in this one, and well, they were saying in the broadcast at some point that Fields looks hopeful. That Eberflus said that he was hopeful that Fields would return for Thursday night against Carolina. And by God, do I think we need him now. I don't think we can continue to start Bajan. If he plays like he did in the first half, maybe. But if he plays anything like he did in that fourth quarter, no. But the thing is, there's still things about Bajan's games that I really like. It's just he's had plenty of bad decisions when throwing the football. I think he's consistently getting the ball out faster, which is the big advantage that I think he has over Justin Fields. He's got a faster drop back, and he's getting the ball out faster. And he's spreading the ball around more to different receivers. I think that's a huge part of his game that I feel like if Fields was able to take with him going forward, that would be huge. Because, again, with the O-line just not being great, Fields does not have the time to do the deep drop back, and the time that it takes to complete his drop back is quite a bit of time in the NFL. So if he can speed up the drop back, I think that would really help him get balls out quicker, and maybe gets a chance to step up and get out of the pocket, something, anything, because of course there have been a couple plays where he just can't even complete his drop back without it being under pressure. So I feel like there are a couple of things that he can learn from being out these past couple of weeks from Tyson Bajan. But I do think that Fields is the better quarterback going forward. So whenever he's healthy, I think Fields will start again. I know there are people who think that Bajan has looked better in the pocket, but he has not looked good in the second half of these last 2 games. Really has not. Had a couple of bad picks. No, just not even like a couple, like a good handful of really bad interceptions in the second half against LA, and the second half here against NO. And so, I don't know. It's just another loss. I mean, there's really not much else to take away from it. I could make some comments about the defense, and they played fine. They cracked a couple of times, but it's like it didn't really feel like it was their fault because they were kind of given kind of bad field position because the offense turned the ball over 5 times. So, of course, New Orleans, I think, scored 17 points off of turnovers. You don't have like 3 of those turnovers, 17 points off the board, you win that game easily. Like, when they had to go the length of the field, the defense was able to hold them most of the time. When they had a short field, the defense was surrendering points. And that was the big reason why they lost this game. And again, I do think that both teams are trying to throw this game away. Because New Orleans, after we turned the ball over like 3 times in the fourth quarter, and we punted from like our own end zone as well in that quarter as well. Like there was not a single play in New Orleans territory in that fourth quarter. So, how have you not put the game away at that point? You get like several opportunities with like under 10 minutes left. You're up by 7, and you get like 3 separate opportunities to end the game. You fail a 4th down conversion. You miss a field goal. You can't put the game away. But luckily for them, they were playing the Chicago Bears, who can't capitalize on these types of things. They play almost any other team in the league. The game is going to be tied at some point if they keep doing that. So that's something that they're going to have to work on. And just not let it, just twisting the knife, putting the killing blows on, making it 2-possession games, taking the points, not trying to be too aggressive, but also just be effective when you have the ball. Late in games, up. So yeah, Saints tried to throw this game away, but the Bears wanted the loss more, it seemed like. They wanted to lose the game more. It's just, I mean, I really don't have much to take away because it is so clear why they lost the game. 5 turnovers. There really isn't any other thing. And the Saints didn't get penalized like at all, too. So, like, almost every penalty was against Chicago as well. So, I don't know. They get a short week. They get the Panthers next. Which, I mean, Panthers not doing too great, but they won their first game of the season recently. So, I mean, is Bryce Young taking that step? Is Bryce Young able to rally the troops to a victory? Who knows? So, it's going to be an interesting game. Bears are at home. This is a big game for the Bears. Not just because they need to win the game, obviously, but because they need to have Carolina keep losing. The more Carolina loses, the better, because the Bears have their first overall pick next year. Their first round pick, not their first overall. They could be first overall if they keep playing like this, but only time will tell. But a win on Thursday is huge for the Bears because it improves their draft position, so they could potentially even get 2 top 10 picks next season if they keep, performing poorly enough. And Carolina also performs very poorly this season. So, I don't know. They just need to. They need to win the game. It's simple. It's as simple as that. And it's on a Thursday, so anything can happen. They won their last time they were on Thursday in Week 5 against the Commanders, broke their 14-game losing streak. So maybe they're going to go 2 for 2 on Thursday night this year. That'd be kind of funny. That'd be really funny. But if you aren't excited to see Al Michaels absolutely lose his sanity in the booth on Thursday because he has to call a game between a 1-6, maybe 1-7. I haven't checked up on the Panthers-Colts score. I don't think it's over yet. But regardless, 1-6, maybe 1-7 Carolina team against a 2-7 Chicago team. Oh, he's going to lose his sanity. Oh, man, he needs to retire. He is on his last legs. It's time to pass the torch and let someone else have an opportunity, I think. So we're all getting that treat next week, or well, in just a few days, really. So on Thursday, the Bears play the Panthers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more reactions from me. And without further ado, I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.